Hi, good morning from Houston, Texas. My name is Brandy Yale. I'm the Director of Graduate Admissions for the Cullen College of Engineering at University of Houston. I'm going to be giving a brief presentation just to go over a few things that I hope will be helpful for you. I'm going to try to keep the presentation brief so that we can get to your questions and spend as much time as possible on any questions you might have about coming to the university, about getting into classes, anything really that you have a question about. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're going to go through a brief PowerPoint presentation. And I'm really excited that you all could be here today. I want to welcome you to this webinar, and hopefully I'll be welcoming you all to University of Houston in just a couple of months. So this is an overview of what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to start with a brief discussion about succeeding in graduate school. We're going to talk about some of the impediments to success in graduate school, such as imposter syndrome and culture shock. And then we're going to go through some university resources that can help you with adjusting to life at UH. And hopefully this will be a quick presentation and we'll get to your questions very quickly. So what does success in graduate school look like? There's a lot of different measures for what that success is. It could be your grades, how well you do in each of your classes. If you're in a research-based program, a thesis or a dissertation program, it could be satisfactory progress in research. And this is sort of a very difficult to measure because it's based on really just a subjective beliefs of your professor or yourself and how well you're doing in your research. But you will be given grades on research. And so those grades will be either satisfactory or unsatisfactory. And that should help you know how well you're doing and progressing through your research. And if you're not doing well, your professor will tell you. Next, graduation and getting a job, that's definitely a sign of success in graduate school, that you managed to make it through the program and then to use your degree in some way afterwards. So who can help you in this process as you go through? Your first step will always be your department graduate advisor. They're there to be sort of your home base. So anytime you have a question or a concern or you need help figuring out a policy or procedure, go to your department graduate advisor first. They usually can answer most of your questions. If there's something for some reason they don't know or that they want to refer you to somebody who is an expert in that area, they will give you the resources that you need to find out any answer to your questions. Your faculty advisors will also be there to help you succeed. And then there's a lot of campus resources, which we'll talk about today. But really, I think that the secret to success in graduate school is the relationships you build with people, right? So fellow students, your advisors, your department graduate advisor, all of these people are going to become a network that will help support you through the program. So I really want to encourage you all to think about this as you're arriving at UH and as you're going to your classes, to think about how you can work together to help everyone succeed. We do have a few academic policies that are related to success. We expect all graduate students to maintain good standing. In order to do so, you need to get a 3.0 GPA. The 3.0 GPA is also required for graduation. If you drop below a 3.0 GPA, you will get a low GPA warning on your transcripts for that semester. So you want to always keep your GPA above 3.0. If for some reason you do badly in a course and you have that low GPA warning, you can, of course, continue in the program and get your GPA back up above 3.0 so that you can graduate. We also have a low grade policy, and that is that if you get 12 credit hours of C or lower grades, you cannot receive a degree. So usually we think of that as 4 courses. If you get 4 Cs or lower, a D or an F, you will not be able to graduate from the program. You'll be discontinued. And so D grades cannot be used on your degree plan. If you get a grade of a D or an F in a course, you have to either retake that course or take another course to replace it on your degree plan. Your advisors can explain this a little better. And you can also find these policies in our graduate catalog. And now that we've got the scary part over, we can kind of move on to some of the more interesting things to talk about. So imposter syndrome, I'm hoping that most of you have heard of this. It's a syndrome that affects high-achieving individuals. Usually it means that you're sitting in a class and you're looking around and you're thinking, everybody understands this but me. And I really wanted to make sure that you're all aware that everyone experiences imposter syndrome to some degree, and it really affects graduate students. So if you've never heard of this before, I really want to encourage you to Google it, do some reading, because there's a very good chance that you're going to be affected by this in some way. And the best ways to overcome imposter syndrome are, one, to have a growth mindset. Don't expect to be going into graduate school already knowing everything. Expect to learn, to be a student. That's what your professors expect of you. They do not expect you to come into graduate school already knowing everything. They expect to teach you this stuff. They want you to have a base of knowledge, but they expect you to be struggling and learning throughout your graduate career. For those of you who are international students, you may also want to look up some of these models of culture shock. There's been a lot of research done on cultural adjustment or acculturation. When you move to another country, you can have different reactions to living there. A lot of the older research usually follows a U or a W-shaped model. And this model was developed by anthropologists. And it shows that a lot of times you'll have initial excitement, sort of a tourism feeling that you're excited to be in a new place and to learn these things. But then you start to move downward into anxiety or depression. And then some people also experience a sort of surface adjustment where they think, oh, everything's fine now, I've got it figured out. But then something happens that causes them to confront a deeper issue. But everyone over time will adjust to their new environment. So if you are having trouble when you're first adjusting, please go talk to your department advisor. I'll talk about some more resources that can help you. The newer models for culture shock are based on the culture learning model. And this model is just a steep decline. So basically you start at the highest level of anxiety or depression, and you just slowly get more comfortable in your new environment. So all of the research has shown that the best way to get over culture shock or to adjust to a new environment, even if you're not an international student, say you're a domestic student who's been working in an industry for a while and you find yourself a student again at a university, that can also be a culture shock. And they show that the best way to get over this is to immerse yourself into that new environment. Right? So you want to adjust and learn about the social situations around you. Most culture shock is due to not feeling comfortable in social situations. So the best way to overcome it is to get yourself out there, to meet new people, to learn the social cues and the way to understand the behavior of other people around you. And this is really the best way to kind of overcome this type of feeling of anxiety in new social situations. So some of the best ways to do this, to meet other students, are through the student organization. I believe every department in engineering has a student chapter of a national engineering society. And these groups can really help you to meet other students, both graduate students and undergraduate. For international students, we have a bunch of different organizations. The biggest one is the International Students Organization. This is graduate and undergraduate students from all around the world. And then we have some cultural student organizations that are based on particular countries or particular cultures. And so there's a link here that will show you a long list of all these different cultural organizations that you can join. And then finally, I just want to include the Get Involved link. This has a lot of ideas for ways you can get involved and get active on campus. Another great way to meet new people and to get involved on campus is through the Rec Center. Our Campus Recreation Center has a lot of opportunities. We have group classes such as yoga, aerobics, just about anything you can think of, you can do in a group class here. We have a lot of really active intramural sports teams, so small teams or individual competitions of all types. If you go to the Recreation Center website, you can find a list of this. Another thing that we have is outdoor adventure trips. These are the only one listed that's not completely, free. You do have to pay a small amount because they're weekend trips or week-long trips where you go camping or hiking somewhere. And you get to meet new people and kind of have it a sort of adventure with a group of people that you might not have interacted with otherwise. So I really want to encourage you all to take advantage of the Campus Recreation Center. It's included in your fees, and so you should really get out there and use that. Try climbing this rock wall that you see in the picture. That is, in fact, in our Student Rec Center. And so you can learn rock climbing if that's something that you're interested in. Some other on-campus resources that are designed to kind of help you adjust is the International Student Friendship Program. This is a program through our International Student and Scholar Services Office that will set you up with a family here in Houston. Usually it's a family with children who want their kids to learn about another culture, and at the same time they'll help you learn about U.S. culture. And you can also use this as an opportunity to practice your English skills, to learn slang or idioms and that sort of thing that you might be harder to pick up when you're first immersing yourself into a language you're not used to. And then finally, I just wanted to mention the UH Health Center, which is the medical center. So if you have any medical issues, you would contact them. And then also CAPS, which is our counseling service. And they meet with students just to talk, or anything from just minor anxiety to severe depression. So if you're having any kind of issues like that, I really want to encourage you to go talk to them. So finally, I'm going to go through a couple of reminders. This is the orientation schedule for this fall. We hope that you will be able to arrive early enough to take full advantage of all of these orientations. Most of them are, I believe all of the ones listed here are required, so you do need to attend at least one of them. You do need to attend at least one of the international student check-in sessions, and then you need to attend each of the international student orientation, the department orientation, and the College of Engineering orientation. For those of you who are not yet enrolled in courses, the last webinar we went through a lot of information about course enrollment, so you may want to watch that video, which is available on this YouTube page. And then also we have your department advisors available to talk to you about whether or not you can enroll in classes now, what you need to do to get enrolled, and what classes you should be enrolled in. So definitely use your department advisor as a resource if you have any specific questions about your program requirements or about course requirements or what you should be doing to get enrolled in courses. And here's some important dates and deadlines to remember. The first day of classes is on August 21st. The last day that you can add a class to your course schedule is August 28th. And the last day to drop without receiving a grade or having the course appear on your transcript is September 6th. So by September 6th, you will have to have your entire schedule set for the semester. So please keep these dates in mind as you're planning out your schedule. Even if you're not able to enroll yet, you can still start viewing the course schedule and start looking at what classes you want to take. And definitely look at your department's website and talk to your department advisor about the degree plans and what you are expected to take. Finally, please like us on social media. This is my last slide, so if you have any questions, please go ahead and type them in, and I will get started going through the questions in just a minute here. So I want to also encourage any of you who are not in the UH Engineering Cougars Facebook group, please add yourself to that. It's a really great chance to get to know each other before you come, to ask questions. I've seen people on there finding roommates and doing all kinds of interesting stuff. So I'm really glad that you guys are using that as a resource to help each other. And then finally, there's also a lot of newsletters that you can sign up for through the various websites, through UH's main website, through each of the department websites. So if you need more information about that, you can send me an email and I will send you links to either the newsletter page or to the Facebook group. All right, so I'm going to start reading through the questions and answering those now. I want to thank you for participating, and I hope that this has been helpful for you and given you some things to think about before you come. All right, so our first question, I have an admit for fall 2017 in industrial engineering. If I join the program in fall and apply for a master's in finance for spring 18 while pursuing IE, will I be eligible for dual degree program then? You can't start another graduate program while you're in a graduate program unless that dual degree has already been set up between the departments. So if it's an official dual degree program, you might be able to do that. I think that industrial has a program like that, but I'm not sure. So you would need to check with your department advisor to find out if they have any dual degree programs and how you would get signed up for that. If I have taken some basic classes during my master's year from University in California, can I transfer some credits from my old school? So there's a couple of questions I would need to know the answer to help you with that. One, if you finished your master's degree, you cannot transfer any courses from a finished degree. It's sort of like those classes have been used and you can't use them again. If you're going into a PhD program with a finished master's, they do reduce the course load, the number of courses that you need to take. So you will get credit for having already done a master's program. You won't have to take as many courses in your PhD program. If you did not finish that master's degree, you may be able to transfer some courses. You'll need to talk to your department advisor about that because the faculty in your department will need to review those courses and make sure that they are appropriate for your new degree plan. So you can transfer up to 6 credit hours from another institution, but not if you already use those courses on another degree. How can I get health insurance as a graduate student? I currently need coverage. There is a website. I don't remember the exact URL right now, but if you go to the uh.edu website and search for health insurance, it will bring you to the page that covers health insurance that's offered through the university. You'll be charged for it once per semester. So at the beginning of the semester, when you register, you'll get a bill for health insurance, and it'll be part of your tuition and fees. So you'll need to look into that. And I believe that they do not let you do the deferment plans for health insurance, but I'm not sure if you can do that on a payment plan. You might be able to include it with your tuition and fees if you do a payment plan. So if you're having trouble looking up that information, please send me an email and I will get you the links to everything you need to know about health insurance. Are we required to attend both the department and college orientation dates? If so, where can we find information about the dates and times? So each department sets their own orientation. You are required to attend those, and they are determined by each department, and they have not yet scheduled most of those dates. Most departments will have a tentative date. Usually it's going to be the week before classes start is the most common time for these orientations. And there will also be a graduate school orientation this year for the entire college, which will be the Friday before classes start. That one is not mandatory, but I do encourage you to go because there'll be a lot of useful information. And then there is a college orientation, which is usually the Friday after classes start. It's also mandatory. And the reason there's so many of these orientations is because as graduate students, you have many different levels of policies that you're responsible for knowing and for navigating through. And so you do want to make sure that you get as much information as you can going into it to make sure that you can plan out your career as a graduate student and not end up getting to the point where it's your last semester and you didn't realize you're missing some course or you didn't meet some policy deadline or something like that. So you want to make sure you go to all of this so you have the information up front. I know it's a lot of orientations for your first couple weeks here, but we really do try to pack as much information in there as we can because it is a lot. It's a lot to know. You can read through the graduate catalog to get some information about what these policies are like, and that's at the graduate school, university level. And then there's the college's website. The College of Engineering has a website with academic policies on it that you're responsible for knowing. And then your department also has information on their website about degree plans and about policies. So there really is kind of a lot going on. Okay, how to remove the hold from my account in order to enroll for classes. So it depends on what kind of hold you have. I'm assuming it's probably either prior degree verification. Actually, that's probably the only hold right now that's stopping graduate students from enrolling. And so for that hold, you have to submit hard copies of official transcripts, mark sheets, and degree certificates. And you have to send those. It's best if they're sent from your university directly to the University of Houston. If you are not able to send them directly, if your university won't send sealed envelopes, you can bring them with you. If you only have one copy of a document, you can bring it with you when you arrive, and they'll remove your hold. But they will remove your hold until they have the hard copy official documents. If you have any questions about what documents you need, you can email me. I can look at your account, and the graduate school will have listed what they've received from you and what they haven't, and I can give you that information. Okay, so for MSEE, Computer and Electronics Specialization, who is the student advisor? I tried emailing Nafisa Lynn and didn't get a response yet. So Nafisa is the advisor for that program. She's the advisor for about 400 active students plus 100 or so more that are coming this fall. So she probably just hasn't gotten to your email yet. If it's been a while, you can email me, and I'll check with her to see if she received your email or not. Okay, so let's see. I've received an admission in civil engineering. Can you explain about the assistantship opportunities available in the College of Engineering? So for assistantships, most of those are done at the department level. So you would need to talk to your department advisors. And to be perfectly honest, most of those assistantships go to PhD students because they're going to be around longer. They're going to get more training. And so they reserve most of those assistantship positions for PhD students. But that's not to say that we don't have master students in assistantship positions. In fact, we have students who work all over campus as TAs or as RAs. So your best bet for finding where those positions are, you can talk to your department advisor to see what it's like in your department. Each department's going to have a different process. And then also you can talk to the students in your department because they're going to be your best resource for finding those positions because they can tell you where they found jobs. And as they graduate, those jobs become open again. So there's constant positions available. There's also an icon in your Access UH page for Cougar Pathways. You won't be able to see this icon until you've registered for classes. But once you have, you'll be able to go through that portal to search for jobs across campus. And most jobs are posted through that portal. Okay, how do we find research opportunity thesis in the first semester? So your first step is going to be look through the website at the faculty in your department, look at their research interests. Talk to other students. You can talk to your department advisor to find out, if who's active, who's doing the type of research that you're interested in. And then you're going to have to approach them directly. Some departments, and so I want to qualify this a little bit, some departments do have measures in place to pair people up with advisors. They'll do special events or something where they'll have professors come give their presentation of their research, and then the students will try to match with those professors. So talk to your department advisor about how it's done in your department, but generally you need to find that advisor yourself. So you find someone who is an active in research, who has interests that are similar to yours. We do have also some opportunity if you can't find someone in your department who is doing exactly the type of research you want to do. You can also look at joint appointments with your department. For example, some students in electrical engineering will have an advisor who is in physics or who is in computer science. So they have to have a joint appointment with your department, though, for you to follow that route. So there really is like a lot of different opportunities. A lot of our faculty are very interested in having master's students. Many of our faculty have a bunch of small projects that they can't find someone to help them with. So, that's what you're wanting to look for. Email these faculty members. Once you're here, go to their office hours and talk to them. A lot of times, if you do really well in a class, you can talk to the professor for that class about research that they're doing. So there's a lot of different ways. We will do everything we can. If you really want to do a research thesis, we will do what we can to help match you with an advisor. Can you give us an idea about how the welcoming week is going to be? So I'm not sure which welcoming week you're talking about. We have the week before classes, where it's, moving into your dorm and attending orientations and all of that sort of thing. And then the week classes start, we have a lot of people out in tents who will welcome you and give you a little bit of swag and a little bit of like campus maps and things like that. So there's a lot of different events that are happening the first week of classes. If you want to send me an email with more specifics about your question, if I didn't answer it the way you were expecting, please let me know. Any recommendations for student parking on campus for part-time students? So if you're going to be a part-time student and you are taking only night and weekend classes, they have a special parking pass for that now. It's one of the cheaper passes, so you should look for that. Otherwise, I can't really give you. It used to be a lot easier to park on campus at nights and weekends. It was pretty much free. You could park anywhere you want, but they really are starting to tighten the rules on that. So you need to be really careful about making sure you have a parking pass and making sure you know where to park. If you want to look for free parking spaces that are near campus, I know that there are some. I haven't used them personally, so I would say talk to other students and try to figure out where they're parking. Okay. I haven't received my I20. I've been admitted for industrial engineering. Send me an email if you haven't already. I recognize your name, so I think I've already been in email correspondence with you. We just need to figure out where it is in the process. I don't know if it's been mailed or not yet. So let me look that up. Send me an email, and I'll look that up after the webinar. Let's see. I got admission to chemical engineering. My master's diploma will not be shown until 6 weeks after graduating. Oh, God. Okay, let's see. So I'm assuming you just graduated from your master's degree. After the graduating quarter. I'm not sure I totally understand your question, but I think what you're asking is you won't have your master's diploma yet. And you're wanting to know if you can still enroll in classes. And yes, you can. In order to enroll in classes, you just have to show proof of your bachelor's degree. You do need to make sure you get us all your master's stuff as well, but it doesn't have as hard of a deadline. We need your master's stuff to make sure that you're in the master's to PhD program and that you're on the right degree plan so that we don't require you to take more course hours, that sort of thing. But in order to get enrolled and to I don't think you need to do the prior degree verification before you apply for campus housing. You can do that now. But we just need your bachelor's degree for class enrollment. Okay, how do I get a CougarNet account? So you start with MyUH. You need to get that set up first. Once you have your MyUH account, you will, let's see, for CougarNet. I'm assuming you mean like the email address alias and the that login. And I'm not sure how they notify you of what your CougarNet login information is. If you'd like, you can send me an email. I should have access to what your CougarNet ID will be. So go ahead and send me an email and I'll look that up for you. Okay, I have not given my answer to the UH acceptance letter yet. If I decide to attend, will I be able to do so in early July? Assuming that you do not need an I20 or for visa processing, like if you're already in the US, then yes, contact your department advisor and ask for an extension to accept your offer. Most of the departments will be fine with that. If you are not currently in the US, you need to, we would need to have already probably gotten your acceptance in order to process your I-20. If that's the case, please send me an email and we'll see what we can do. What all documents will be required during the international student check-in? So you need to have all of your visa documents. You need to bring your I-20. Wish I had the list in front of me. It is actually kind of a long list. You need your visa, your passport, all of that sort of stuff. Will be needed. If you go to the international student website, they have a link to their check-in document, which I can also send you. If you want to email me, I'll send you the link directly to it. And it has the list of every document that you need to bring with you. And it is a lot. It's anything related to your visa or entering the country you need to bring to international student check-in. Okay, so I think that's the last question we got on here. I'm going to wait a couple of minutes, see if anybody else has any other questions. So these have all been really good questions so far. And I'm really glad you guys are all here asking these questions. We really want to make sure that you have all of the information up front, that you're not confused or worried about what the process is going to be like coming here. We want to make it as smooth as we can for you. We're really hoping that that you will all have a good experience here at UH. Okay, so there hasn't been another question, but I really don't want to cut it off if someone's currently typing. So I'm just going to wait another minute or so. And I want to also encourage you all to email me if you have any questions. Email your department advisors. We will do our best to make sure that we get you the answers as quickly as possible. If you are having any issues with contacting your advisor, you can also send me an email, and I'll let them know that you're trying to get a hold of them. So sometimes that can be make it a little quicker to get your answer. Okay, here's a couple more questions. How much of scholarships are actually available for international students? Most are US only. So I'm assuming you're not talking about the department scholarships, you're searching for scholarships. And I know that the International Student Scholar Services Office has a list on their website of international student scholarships. If you can't find it, send me an email, I'll send you the link. It is sometimes more difficult to find scholarships. A lot of them are directed at US citizens. So hopefully that will help you find some scholarships. That office, ISSS, the International Student and Scholar Services Office, they also do a couple of scholarships themselves. I believe you have to apply in the spring semester for the following fall, so they've already given those out for this next year. But if you're still here the following year, you may be interested in applying for one of those. When will department course requirements be posted online, or do I simply email the department advisor? So most likely email your department advisor. That's the best way to ask for a copy of your degree plan. Some departments have those online. For example, I know that the electrical engineering department has theirs. It's under the graduate section of the website, and then under forms, you can find all of their degree plans there. If you have a question about which degree plan you should be following, email me or the advisor. There's a lot of them right now because we just switched degree plans for that department. So there's the old degree plans and the new degree plans. And if you get confused, just let one of us know and we'll make sure you get the right degree plan. But for other departments, I'm not too sure exactly how many of them have the degree plans on their website, but I know that the advisors can definitely tell you where they are or send them to you. Okay, I tried registering for classes, was not able to due to requisites not being met. How can I go about getting this hold removed? Thanks. Okay, so probably send me an email and let me know the situation. Usually you can't enroll in undergraduate classes if you don't have the prerequisites. I don't think that there's a lot of graduate classes that have a prerequisite hold. So let me know what you're trying to register for and we'll get you sorted out. Okay, so let's see. Next question is, I purchased a parking permit 45 days ago and a link to a temporary 7-day permit appeared, but now it is gone. Do you know if these links expire? I don't think that they do expire because they usually, if you purchase a parking permit for the next year, they don't mail those out until July or sometimes early August. So if your temporary permit, I guess I'm a little confused. So was your pass for summer or is it for fall? If it was for summer, it may have expired. So contact parking and talk to them, find out what they can do to help you. If you haven't received your hard parking permit yet, but it's already in, like if it's already effective for summer, then that could be a problem. So let me know if you're having issues with that, or contact parking. They should definitely help you. Okay, I'm gonna wait just another minute in case somebody's typing a question right now. And so again, thank you guys for participating. We will have another webinar in July, around the first week of July. I'm not sure yet if we'll be having one in August, since most of you will be arriving already at that point. But if we decide that there's some, issues we want to talk about, or if we have a lot of people who haven't arrived yet or something, I may have another one in August as well, just to go over some last minute details. July's webinar is going to be about arriving at UH and what you need to do when you get here. So we'll talk a lot more about orientations, about international student check-in. That's how to get your documents submitted to the graduate school, that sort of thing. Let's see. I want to know when I will receive my I-20. I'm in industrial engineering. Please send me an email and I'll look up where it is in the process. We've been actively processing I-20s for a couple months now, so I don't know where yours is in the process, but I can check on it and I can ask the graduate school to expedite it and get it to you as quickly as possible. So please send me an email and I'll look up your I-20 status for you. Okay, so hopefully we're getting to the end of the questions. I don't want to make you guys sit here and listen to silence. Okay, as a follow-up, the permit is for, okay, so it's for fall and spring. I use the student bill method. I don't know if probably this is the reason why it is gone. I'm not sure either. I would think that if they were going to give you a temporary permit, it wouldn't be valid until the start of the spring semester or the fall semester. So it may be that they released it too soon and they took it back and they're going to re-release it closer to the start of the semester. Or it may be, I really don't know. So let's talk to parking about that. If you have any trouble contacting them, let me know and I'll contact them for you and try to figure out what's going on. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and, another question. What is the chance of acquiring a job for international candidates after graduate school? So we do everything we can to help get your resume out there and to get your face out there. We have a lot of really good career fairs. The engineering college has its own engineering career center. Their only job is to try to find you a job after you graduate. I'm going to be honest, it is definitely harder for international students to find work. But it's not impossible. A large number of our students go on to find careers here in the U.S. So a little bit of it is how well you do in school. A little bit of it is luck. And a little bit of it is what you're interested in, what kind of jobs you're applying for. So it's hard to give you really a solid chance of acquiring a job. But I will tell you that we will do what we can to help you find a job. We also do an internship co-op program. So if you're interested in internships, you can talk to the graduate school about or attend one of the career fairs to talk to different companies about getting internships. If you do an internship, the company doesn't have to have like a stake in it. They don't have to pay for you to work for them during that internship period. So it's a lot easier for international students to get internships, which can then help you get a job at that company. So if you're really wanting to stay in the US and work, internships are your first step. And going to the career fairs and talking to the career center and trying to find those opportunities. Once you've graduated, if you haven't done an internship, if you don't have any contacts with companies here, it's a lot harder to get a job because those companies have to sponsor you to stay in the US. And that costs them money and it costs them time. And so if they already know you, you have a lot better chance of that happening for you. I'm just going to wait another minute in case there's another question coming. If this is your the first webinar you participated in, I really want to encourage you to watch the videos from the old ones. For fall 2017, there's a couple more that are on our YouTube page. And they have a lot of information about tuition and fees, about course enrollment, planning out your graduate career. So I really hope that you'll watch those videos. Those of you who've been participating in these webinars will have a leg up on all of the other new students who didn't participate, because you will already know a lot of these policies and a lot of these answers to these common questions that you're seeing pop up when you go to orientation. I think it'll be good for you because you'll have already heard the answer once, you'll hear it a second time, and hopefully it'll stick. You won't be as lost as the other students. That's what we're really hoping to do with these webinars. So I hope that they've been really valuable to you. I hope they've helped you learn more about the University of Houston, about the city of Houston, and about what it's like to be a student here. So I'm going to go ahead and end a little early since I haven't seen any more questions pop up yet. But I do want to encourage you that if you still have a question, please email me, email your department advisor, and we'll do our best to help you find the answers to those questions. So once again, I really appreciate you all attending this webinar. And I really appreciate your interest in the University of Houston. And we really hope to see you here this fall. So have a great day.